Hey there, guys. So, this is the second time I've had to do this edit on this video because I screwed up somewhere editing it the first time. But I came across this page from a YouTube friend of mine named Cannoli Sasquatch who pointed out a YouTuber named Horror Amorata. I know I'm butchering this lady's name. I apologize. But a year ago, she made a video talking about how Sony was censoring a video game. And I'm very passionate about these topics, about talking about censorship in any type of media. Even if it's media that I don't support myself, I still talk about this. So I want to talk about this and give my 2 cents on this situation. And let's see what she has to say. So without further ado, let's roll the clip and get into the video and see what tomfoolery Sony's trying to do. First off, really good looking intro. I like it. It's awesome. I used to put intros in the beginning of my videos and then I just got lazy. I need to hire somebody on Fiverr to make a better intro for me because, good lord, my intros suck. They really just are not good at all. But yeah, great intro. And let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. Because it's something very important to talk about. It really is.
All right, for those who know me, you know I'm huge into horror. Games, movies, books, whatever. I enjoy it all.
And I, however, do not. And that's okay. And the reason I don't is because my babysitter, when I was a child, I think around 6, 7, or 8, the ages keep changing every time I tell the story, but it was around that age bracket, allowed me to watch Chucky, Child's Play. After I begged her and begged her and begged her, she gave in and let me watch Child's Play. And ooh, that did not sit right with me. Didn't like it. I can do haunted houses, like not go through haunted houses. I can work haunted houses, and that's perfectly fine. But I cannot, do any blood or gore or anything like that. It's just not something I can do.
So I have had this game, Martha is Dead, on my radar for quite a while. It's not something I necessarily plan to play the second it comes out, because there are other games coming out that I want to play, but it has looked very interesting to me.
And that's totally awesome. I hope that you get the game and you're able to play the game and have fun with it. But, for context, here's a recording of me reading the Wikipedia excerpt of what Martha is Dead is. Good lord, that's a mouthful of a sentence. And just so we can get an idea of where we're coming from with this whole situation and get an idea of what the game is about. Martha is Dead is a psychological horror game developed by Italian studio LKA and is published by Wired Productions for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series... Serious. I'm leaving that in. I'm not editing that out. Xbox Series X/S and Amazon Luna. Okay, so now that we know what the game is, cool. So psychological horror game. Psychological horror. So we know exactly what we're getting with this video game just by the Wikipedia article alone. We know exactly what we're getting. So, with all that being said, let's listen to the tomfoolery that Sony's wanting to do.
Recently, the producers, Wired Productions, have put out a statement. It's basically referring to the fact that PlayStation has decided that they need to censor the game.
And I know I slipped up and said it was Sony that wanted to censor it, but we all knew that anyway. We knew Sony was going to censor it. They're the only company as of right now that wants to censor things. which is funny because if you remember back in the 90s, the whole Night Trap situation with Nintendo.
In the past year, some very violent and offensive games have reached the market. And of course, I'm speaking about Mortal Kombat and Night Trap. And let me say that for the record, I want to state that Night Trap will never appear on a Nintendo system. Obviously, it would not pass our guidelines. This game, which, as you've indicated, promotes violence against women, simply has no place in our society.
And then, of course, 25 years later, in 2017, Night Trap comes out on the Switch for the 25th anniversary edition. Yeah, that comment did not age well at all. On a little side note, this has to be my favorite comment on this video. If it promotes violence against women, why are we trying to stop them in game? Is violence against men okay? And they are 1000% right with that one. Because the lawyer said it promotes violence against women. Well, what about all the violence that men go through in video games? Like, were you drinking a little bit of the sauce there, buddy? Because seems like you don't really want true equality. This was back in the 90s, sure, but still, it's kind of funny to me.
They very clearly stated from the beginning that this was going to be a violent, disturbing game. And have from the beginning said that. However, apparently PlayStation decided that they would rather have some of it with some of the events non-playable.
And that's my biggest gripe with Sony. That's why I don't think I will ever play another PlayStation system again. I just won't. Things could change in the future, but as of right now, I won't do it. It's too overpriced for a lot of censorship. Even, like, the games I don't even play are getting censored. So, if they get censored, how long until the more kid-friendly games get censored? You know what you're getting with this video game. You know it's a horror game, psychological horror game, and you know what you're getting with it. So why not just let the fans or the people interested in playing the game decide what in the heck we're supposed to do with this? Sony of today is the Nintendo of the 90s, and the Nintendo of today is the Sony of the 90s. It's kind of funny how those two positions switched, isn't it?
Causing them to, apparently the digital release will still happen on Thursday. However, the physical release will be delayed because of this need to censor. And then earlier today, some videos of why they may be censoring this game have come out. And I won't show those just because I'm pretty sure YouTube wouldn't like it. I'm not sure on the rules about that yet, and I don't really want to fuck around with it right this minute. But because of those, you see tons of tweets of people who are saying, oh, wow, no wonder they censored it. This is disgusting. This should never happen. And you have people who say people die in games all the time, but don't use a razor to cut off someone's face and put it on theirs. Two very different things.
Again, as somebody who this game is not made for, why do I give a care how a person dies in a video game? I don't care. Heck, the person could die by having their mouth forced open and having little drops of water fill their mouth until they eventually suffocate and die. I don't care how a character dies in a game that I'm never going to touch. Never gonna touch it, never gonna play it, it's not gonna be on my radar of things to play. So why do I give a crap? Just like I don't give a crap of what content a video game has, to be honest with you. I really don't. I'm a Christian. A video game could be 1000% anti-Christian. Have anti-Christian imagery, anti-Christian propaganda, anti-Christian everything. I would not care. Like, I would be annoyed with it and angry with it, but I still wouldn't care. I still would say the game needs to be published and let out into the world, because I'm not pro-censorship. I'm just not gonna buy the game. Whatever happened to people just thinking with their wallets and not buying the stupid game if you don't want to buy the stupid game? That's what pisses me off. And it pisses off a lot of other people. That's why I'm a consumer advocate. I care about what consumers want. I don't like when Big Brother says, oh, no, this is too violent for you. You're not allowed to buy the obviously super violent video game. We have to tone it down for you. I'm so tired of Big Brother saying that. Because if they're gonna censor stuff like this, eventually Sony's gonna censor like the tamest stuff possible. It's just gonna happen eventually.
Because you know what? Movies have been doing this since the 1970s. My first thing that came to mind was, have you never watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
No, I have not. But again, that's because I watched Chucky as a small child, so yeah.
There's an entire horror villain based on cutting off other people's face and wearing that, and Grace needs to shut up. I apologize for my dog now. She's being distracted. She's pregnant, about to have puppies, and she's very barky. And I'm irritated, and that always makes her a little extra barky. I don't understand how that works.
You know, if I had to guess personally, dogs can sense when we're upset. And so she probably senses that you're upset. And so she's wondering if you're okay. That's just a guess. I'm not a huge animal person, but I do like dogs. But I heard that dogs can sense when you're upset, so that could be a thing that's happening. And so she's just going off of your emotions. So that's just a guess of mine. I could be completely wrong. I'm not a veterinarian. Just giving my opinion. But let's proceed.
But in that movie alone, that man cuts off people's faces. There are sequels to that movie where that man cuts off people's faces and wears them. I mean, not to mention all the different gory kills. Horror movies, while not interactive games, have been doing this for a very long time.
Yes, and the hyper-religious Christians would always try to get those movies taken down. And now, it's funny, because where Christians like myself may not like the content of those movies, may not agree with the content of those movies, may not support the content of those movies, we still don't give as much of a care. Like, you'll still have pastors try to call out, the satanic imagery in a lot of movies. Sure, that's fine. And you'll have those extreme wackadoodle pastors that focus way too hard on this stuff when it probably isn't that deep to begin with. But for whatever reason, the Christians are not the ones thumping their Bibles anymore and saying that this is wrong. A lot of times it's just oversensitive, progressive people that have become the religious right of today, which is funny. It's funny. And I'm sorry for bringing politics into this, but a lot of times that's where it ends up. I hate it. I don't personally think everything's political, but a lot of times that's where it ends up. A lot of oversensitive people clutching their pearls over a game that they're most likely never going to touch.
You also have Silence of the Lambs and Repo the Genetic Opera, where an entire character in that game, or in that movie, wears other people's faces, quite literally just tacked on, and another where Paris Hilton's face falls off.
Are you serious? That literally is in a movie? Oh my gosh, man. I do not like Paris Hilton whatsoever, so that just made me chuckle. I'm a non-violent person. I don't want anybody to get harmed, but it's fiction, so I'm laughing a little bit.
and her brother ends up wearing it in the end. Then you do have other games where it happens. I mean, you have violence, you have graphic depictions of violence in video games forever, and people have forever been trying to get them cut down. Like, this is what's going to cause us to go violent. I'm sorry, but no. There are no statistics or studies that support that. It absolutely does not happen. Just because you are a little baby who cannot handle a little blood or a little violence in your game does not mean everybody is like you and you must then censor everybody from it.
Now, where I do agree that for the most part, violence in video games does not cause people to be violent. I mean, there are plenty of games that I've played that are violent, such as the Halo franchise. I've dabbled a small microscopic little bit into Call of Duty. A lot of violent games that are not horror genre based, first person shooters. I've never wanted to pick up a gun and go after people. Never. I've in fact never held a handgun in my entire life. Unless it was a Nerf gun. But like, where I believe that that video games for the most part don't make you violent, I just think a lot of times, in a lot of cases, and this is my opinion, it gives an already violent person inspiration to pursue their violence even further. That still doesn't mean it's the video game's fault by any means, because it's not. That person already needs a crap ton of psychological help, and the video game is not at fault for that, and I will never say that they are. But I just think that, in my own personal opinion, a lot of times, it's just giving the person some thoughts on how to pursue their crimes.
If you are a parent who is allowing your child to play this kind of game, you are a moron. And you should probably not have had children, and I hate to think what else you're exposing them to at a young age. If you are not paying attention to what your kids are doing, if you are playing this game and you get upset because you weren't able to handle it, that is on you.
I fully agree with this, but we live in this iPad baby generation where parents don't want to pay attention to their kids. I've literally seen TikTok videos of parents just letting their kid cry and then slapping a tablet in front of their face just to get them to shut the crap up. And where I, not being a parent, can understand that sentiment to a certain degree, I can, trust me. I'm not saying parents should never do it. This parent was way too involved with her cell phone and not seeing what the baby's needs were, so they slapped the tablet in front of them. So a lot of times, my guess is these kids are having unfeathered access to the internet, because if a parent's going to be too lazy to actually, check and see what their kid is up to, then you best believe they're not checking to see if there are any parental locks on that tablet.
That does not mean you get to then try to take it away from me, someone who will enjoy it immensely, even to the point of playing a mini game where I get to cut off somebody's face. It sounds wrong. It sounds like I might be a psychopath, but I don't give a fuck. Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Better run, 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 run away. Oh. Because it's going to be fun, I'm going to be creeped out, and I'm going to enjoy myself. And I'm going to probably do it on stream if I'm able to. So, I hope when I get to that point, you come and join me. Or you come and join me for Horizon Forbidden West, or for Elden Ring, or whatever else I happen to be playing. Because you know what? Just because you are a child who cannot possibly handle the idea of imaginary blood that might be on your imaginary hands does not mean you get to try to take it away from me.
Exactly. I agree wholeheartedly with her. And I'm a big baby when it comes to blood, gore, and violence. But I don't want to take it away from other people. If that's something that you enjoy, if that's something that you like, if that's something that you want to be a part of, then awesome. Cool. I want you to get the experience that you want. Now, I know I said that I don't care what games are produced, but obviously people understand nothing illegal. Obviously. No kitty diddler games or anything like that. Obviously, there's an exception to the whole, I want everything to be produced out there. I have to make those caveats because I know somebody's going to take my words and twist them because we're all idiots in the year of our Lord and Savior 2024. But if you're getting enjoyment out of the game and it's legal, I don't give a care. I don't give a care. Games can touch on mature themes and mature subject matters, and you don't have to play it if you don't want to. Period. I'm perfectly happy playing Mario RPG and every kid-friendly Nintendo game out there, and I'm 31. That's my enjoyment. That's my wheelhouse. That's my bread and butter. But I would never want to take a game away from somebody who plays it and enjoys it. Not how it works.
Or anybody else who's interested in it. I'm not going to try to stop you from playing Hello Kitty Island.
Which, let us never forget, was predicted years ago by South Park.
To victory!
To victory! I don't play World of Warcraft.
Butters, you said you're on your computer all the time.
Yeah, but I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Which, that has to be the funniest South Park prediction I've ever seen in my entire life. 17 years later. This is where I got that video edit from. We'll try to remember to put the dude's name in my description. But yeah, that has to be the funniest prediction South Park's ever done.
You don't try to stop me from playing Martha's Dead, or trying to censor it for your delicate senses, just like I won't try to take all the pink out of Barbie Horse Stable or whatever the fuck people like you play.
Hey, I'm a respectable man baby when it comes to these things. I play games like Mario and Donkey Kong and Mega Man. Don't you be judging me. Don't you be judging me. I'm watching you.
Anyway, catch me on Twitch. Have a good day. And, fuck off. Bye.
Hey, you piss off. Don't you tell me to F off, you F off. As you can tell, I don't like to cuss on my page, but that's beside the point. I fully agree with this lady. I fully agree with her 100%. She's correct. She's fully correct. And she's like me, she talks really slow. And so, as usual, I speed up my videos whenever I feel I'm talking too slowly, but that might not work in this case due to a lot of the edits I made. So you'll have to deal with it. But please go subscribe to her page. I will leave her account in the description below, and check her out if you like anything having to do with spooky and scary stuff. Might be your cup of tea. I appreciate you guys. This is not my genre, but I like following people that do this kind of thing, because it still intrigues me, because I can listen to what they're talking about without actually having to watch the video, because I have YouTube Premium. But thank you guys so much for watching this. I know this is a bit of a longer video, but I appreciate you. Go check her out. She's awesome. Seems like a very nice person, even though I have yet to speak to her. And thank you, Cannoli Sasquatch, for pointing me in the direction of her page. Go subscribe to her, go subscribe to Cannoli Sasquatch, and go subscribe to Cannoli Sasquatch's wife, Sassy Sasquatch. That's fun to say. I'll leave links to all their pages down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care and God bless. Bye.